Hey everybody, welcome back to another guitar lesson on 101 Guitar Lessons. My name is Lauren. Today we're going to talk about bar chords. I know it can be super frustrating, especially when you're learning to play the guitar. You've got all your open chords down, or at least hopefully you do. You've got your major chords, your minor chords, your dominant chords. If you haven't, check out this playlist right here. Get those under your belt first. And then you can move on to the bar chords. So the challenge that most people have when it comes to bar chords is finger strength and knowing where to focus your energy and your concentration. So before we get into the lesson, please take a second just to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share it with other guitar players. And that's it. Every little bit of support helps. Thank you so much. Let's jump right in. So when it comes to bar chords, it's much like the F major chord. And if you don't know how to play an F major chord, check out this video specifically on tips on how to play the F major chord, because it's going to be very similar, just expanded to a larger picture when it comes to full-on bar chords. Now, you're going to concentrate a lot of attention on your first finger right now. Whether it's 6th string root bar chords or 5th string root bar chords, you want to make sure that the clarity of sound is there. So a few tips to help you along the way would be your first finger. You don't really want to play with the fleshy part of your finger. You want to turn your hand to the side a bit and feel that slightly bony side. You want to feel that it's a bit harder, right? And therefore, when you apply pressure, it has more of a solid sound. So when you're playing, again, we're just going to use a one-finger bar across all 6 strings for this example. Let's take a close look. So when you're playing, you don't want to use that fleshy part of your finger. You want to turn your hand to the side of it. And this will also help when it comes to the chord shapes that you need to play underneath the bar as well. Okay, you can play the bar anywhere. Right now, I'm just placing it across the 1st fret, okay? So notice I'm turning my elbow in a little bit and using the side of my finger. That's step number 1. Number 2 is realize it doesn't have to be super straight. It can be a little bit curved. Notice there's some curvature to my finger. That's okay. It doesn't need to be super straight. And I'm not hanging over like this. All right? I'm dropping my finger. So the tip is maybe slightly over the 6th string. But really the key is to line up my knuckle, the 2nd knuckle, or the 2nd line in your finger here, with the 1st string, okay? Why is that important? Well, for the F major chord, we discussed a triangle of pressure, or an idea of a triangle of pressure. When you normally play single lines, you're playing like this. It's like a pinch between the tip of your fingers and your thumb. Well, here, you've got not only the tip of your finger that needs to apply pressure, but you've got all of this, okay? So you want to focus on squeezing your thumb to the 2nd knuckle. Concentrate on that squeeze very specifically, because right here you've got a point of pressure, and then you've got a point of pressure with the tip, creating together, I guess it would look like this, a triangle. So I call that the triangle of pressure. So as you're now positioning your hand behind the neck, you've got your thumb kind of in line with where your 2nd finger would be. Here in this instance, when I'm barring the 1st fret, it would be relatively close to behind the 2nd fret. Let's take a closer look. So my thumb is here, my 1st finger's across, my thumb is kind of hanging out over here. And I'm concentrating on the pinch between the tip of my finger and the 1st knuckle. Right now, start with just the 1st knuckle. So just get that one note with your thumb, okay? I know it'll feel a little bit awkward and weird. Now lay the rest of your finger down and apply that triangle of pressure, so squeezing the tip and the knuckle together with your thumb. All right, and you can go ahead and play one string at a time. All right, so you've got relative clarity there. What you want to make sure is make slight adjustments with your elbow coming in and out with the angle of attack, and making sure that your thumb is positioned properly behind the neck and not hanging out over top, okay, so that you can pinch properly. Now, I know a lot of people will try it with their 2nd finger, and you know what, to get started, I say that's kind of okay as a crutch to get started, but you're going to need that 2nd finger to play the chord shapes underneath, so don't rely on it too much. All right? Right now, you'll also realize that you're using a tremendous amount of strength to squeeze the heck out of that, and that's okay. It's not always going to be that way. It's just to get started. It's going to feel like it takes a lot of pressure. Eventually, you're actually going to be playing it pretty light, and you're still going to get the same clarity, okay? So playing the different chord shapes underneath, you know, and when I'm playing 5th root bar chords, I'm really alternating just that tip is now coming down and not hovering over the 6th string anymore, because the last thing I want is that extra note hanging out over top of a 5th root bar chord sounds terrible a lot of the time, so I really want it starting on the 5th. I can lightly touch the 6th string to mute it, but that's a whole other technique that you don't really have to worry about too much, but I threw that out there for you just in case. So really, the most important thing to focus on when improving your bar chords is the triangle of pressure, and playing on the side of your finger and putting a little bit of curvature in your finger is okay. So playing on the side, a little bit of curvature, and focus on the triangle of pressure to get that clarity. Then you can go ahead and play all those different chord shapes, major, minor, dominant 7, underneath that bar. If you don't know those shapes, definitely check out this playlist because it has all of the 6th root and 5th root major, minor, and dominant 7 bar chords that you need to know to play just about any song you love, okay? So thanks so much for joining me. If you have questions or you're still having problems, leave them in the comments section down below. I'm happy to get to those as soon as I can. And yeah, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel because every little bit of support really does help. Thank you so much for your support. And remember, guitar playing is not a destination. It is a journey, so enjoy the process. It can be difficult at first. It can be a little bit sore, but that all goes away and it's just enjoyment, okay? See you guys on the next lesson. Take care.